everybody, how's it going? And welcome to SMG Viewers Comments, my weekly show where I try and help you guys out to the best of my ability. Let's get right to it.
Hey Glenn, how do you approach mixing a whole album? What shortcuts do you use to help speed things up? Do you start each song from scratch, or do you mix one song and then save your mix as a preset and apply it to the other songs, adjusting as needed? Any tips or tricks will be helpful.
What I do is I work from templates. I've been doing this long enough, I've kind of built up some of my favorites over the years. So I'll have a template when it comes to drums and guitars and that kind of thing, and certain plugins that I like, that kind of thing. But when it comes to mixing a whole album, yes, I'll take the elements that are similar from song to song to song, like say the drums, for instance, or the bass guitar, and make sure I use those same settings from song to song as well. And then, mix individual tracks, like leads or vocals and that kind of crap, and automate and treat them as unique. It's a system I've been working with for the last few years and seems to work out pretty well. If you guys want to see an episode on templates, let me know in the comments below.
How much of a necessity are room mics?
As Manfred Mann once said, that's where the fun is. Seriously, when it comes to drum sounds, especially big booming rock drum sounds, yeah, room mics are a big deal. What you want to do is you want to grab the best mic you have, and even if it's mono, put it out in the room somewhere, have somebody walk around your drum set or your drum room with it going and a drummer playing and kind of find the sweet spot. You can listen in on your control room monitors and just listen to the differences in sound, and you will find an awesome sound in your room somewhere. I've used this method numerous times and it just works great.
Hey Glenn, I'd like to be a producer or engineer, but I don't know where to start. By that, I don't know where or what to research besides your videos. Any advice?
Well, I have to bring this up one more time. I am working on a beginner's course you're going to be able to get. It's going to be 2 to 3 hours, hopefully, of lessons just detailing how to get started and how everything fits together. But if you really don't know what to do, I'd say if you're college age, check out my friends at Evert, especially from the States, because there is a massive difference in exchange rate right now, and you can save yourself a whole bunch of money.
That's a seriously surprising kit for that price.
Yeah, I was shocked too. I'm talking about the Pro Vla-2 compressor. If you guys haven't seen my video on it, please do. It is seriously one of the best bang for the buck compressors I've ever seen. And this comes out of a conversation I've had at a couple different larger LA studios where they've had really slutty gear in the racks. And I spotted that. I'm like, hey, what's up with that? And they're all like, hey, it's awesome. Check it out. So I did. And yeah, it turns out it is great. So if you're looking for a great tube compressor, it's not an all tube signal path. It's like a hybrid solid state tube compressor, but it's got an opto circuit and just sounds awesome. Check out my review of it. Definitely get your hands on one. It is so worth the money.
So what external preamp in about the same price range would you recommend to go with this thing for the beginner's introduction to outboard gear pack for use on bass, vocals, and maybe snares on the way in?
Well, I've been hearing a lot of good things about the Art Pro mic preamp as well. I hope to get my hands on one and review it real soon. Make sure to watch for that video as well.
Glenn, you're one of the very few persons that make me turn my ad block off. Sadly, this is the only way I can support your channel for the time being. Keep up the good work.
Well, I really do appreciate that, man. Every little bit helps. And to all you guys who appreciate the profanity and the fucks and shits and cunts and all the great stuff like that, make sure to head on over to my Patreon, spend a buck, give a fuck, and help keep YouTube fun.
Hey Glenn, do you mind doing a complete tutorial on Reaper or any other DAW for complete beginners to recording metal? I'm trying to start up, but I don't know terms like master fader, etc. Your gear videos help out a ton, but I'd love for you to explore the software side of things. Thanks.
Yes, as I mentioned, I am working on it. I don't know if it's going to be a free YouTube video at this point for what you're asking. It might be a little bit more involved and a little more intense. But when it comes, I will let you guys know. Just bear with me.
Where in the hell did you get a Sun?
Of course, you're talking about my Sun Beta lead. I found mine, I don't know, about 8-10 years ago. Found it on Craigslist in Detroit, actually. That's where I got mine. This is just before they got super popular when Red Fang came out and whatnot. And yeah, it's a great solid state amp. It just sounds killer, and I still have to finish my review on it. Again, watch for that video when it comes out eventually, sometime. Killer amp, though.
Is there anything uglier than a tobacco burst Steinberger semi-hollow telecopy besides Glenn's legs, that is?
Yes, there is. Unfortunately, if I put a picture of your girlfriend up on YouTube, this video is going to get demonetized for violating community standards.
A series of cheapest version of normally expensive gear would be pretty interesting.
All right, I'm down. We already had great results with the Art Pro VLA and the FMR really nice compressor. If you haven't checked that video out, please do. It's a killer compressor for not a whole lot of money. And I'm going to keep looking for great things like that, like inexpensive mics that are awesome and other outboard gear. Again, the Art tube mic preamp. I'm going to definitely check that one out. And I'm going to keep searching for other things as well. Stay tuned.
If you needed to buy one guitar for studio, what guitar would you get?
This right here, this is a Schecter C1 Hellraiser. It's got an EMG 81 and 85. The only thing I've done is I've upgraded to Grover locking rotomatics. Other than that, this guitar is right off the shelf. In 10 years I've had this guitar, I've never even had to adjust the neck once. It is rock solid in terms of tuning stability and tone. This is a guitar I recorded The Eagle Has Landed with. That's my channel's theme song. And this has wound up on an awful lot of records over the years because bands come in with guitars that just can't keep up with the studio's demands in terms of tuning stability especially. This thing's great. You can change the strings out quick. You can change the tuning quick. The neck's rock solid. Yeah, it's absolutely killer. Schecter really outdid themselves with this. I would definitely go with one of these.
Hey Glenn, I want to ask some tips regarding EQing drums recorded with just 2 mics, an overhead and one for the kick. Me and my band are recording our demo tracks by ourselves using the recording equipment we own. Also, should I maybe reconsider and just go to studio to record just the drums? Here in India, we won't find any good studios and amazing professionals like yourself.
Oh, I don't know about that. I've heard some pretty interesting things coming out of India. What you're asking, though, about going to a studio and doing just the drums, that is very much a well-used and time-honored technique, especially over the last 10 years or so with home recording becoming so easy. Do the guitars, do the vocals at home, but do the drums in a bigger studio that has more gear and, most importantly, a better room. Shop around, see what you can find. You might just find something really great. Take a look at some studios and try and listen to some of the stuff that they've done. If they got drum sounds that you like, go with them. As for your question about EQing the mics, I don't know, maybe pull your overhead back a little bit and try and get a bigger picture of the whole kit if you're just using 2 mics. You know, the kick mic can fill in the bottom a little bit, but if you pull the mic back a little bit, you'll get a bigger overall picture, and if you compress that, you might get some interesting sounds. Again, you have to experiment with mic placement, and that takes trial and error. Good luck, man.
Hey Glenn, how would you record a 2x12 cabinet in a proper volume if it's in the same room with your monitors? Cheers.
It's possible, but you're definitely going to want to get some hearing protection because you're going to need to crank that little fucker up. I'm guessing you've only got one room to work in, and that's perfectly okay. But as long as you take some steps, like protecting your hearing and trying the cab in different places in the room, that might be your solution as well. So when you're actually tracking, though, you maybe get some headphones to listen to your mix on, turn your monitors off so they're not bleeding into your guitar cabinet's microphone, and try it that way. But if you've got the budget, I'd highly recommend getting, say, a 2-notes Torpedo Live or a Torpedo Captor. Those are relatively affordable, actually, and running some awesome cab sims like the ones I've got available from Lancaster Audio.
Love this, Glenn. I need to bookmark this and show it to my students every year. The young man in your past photos is a story that I see every year. Young men and women that just didn't fit the mold in high school because they dared to do something other than sports. But when they start college, for the first time in their life, they have actual peers. Kudos to you for rising above it all. Cheers.
That's in my reference to dealing with crushing self-doubt video. If you guys haven't watched that and you're trying to find your direction in life, you might find that a little bit inspirational. But I do appreciate the comment there, and that's very true. It took me a very long time to find myself, and it was when I got behind a board in college and started mixing. That's when I figured out what I wanted to do. A lot of us don't find ourselves until later in life, especially if we don't have athletic ability. So to you guys who are trying music and trying your ass off, keep at it. It's tough, but it's extremely rewarding. And don't quit. Not for anything, not for anyone.
Glenn, you are the reason I have a Joyo Zombie coming in the mail on Wednesday. Thanks for the awesome reviews for all us noobs out here.
Well, thanks very much for writing. I hope it comes in good working order. I hope you love the sounds as much as I do. It is my absolute favorite little monster amplifier. It's super affordable and it just sounds wicked. I highly recommend that over any digital modeling amp out there for that price.
Man, if you dare talk shit about the Boss Metal Zone, I'll create another account, threaten you with it, waste 600 euros for a flight to Canada, throw rotten eggs at your house, then spend another 600 for the flight back and be satisfied. That'll teach you.
Yeah, the Metal Zone sucks, and if you actually do that, I'm going to tell your mother what you did with her makeup. All right, everybody, that's it for this episode. Hope you have an amazing weekend. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And thanks especially to my patrons for supporting this show and keeping YouTube fucking fun. If you don't know what it's all about, head on over to my Patreon, to my Spend a Buck, Give a Fuck campaign, and let's keep the fucks happening. Oh yeah, and House of DGY.